Before we start the report, we would like to acknowledge our eloquent English teacher, Miss Ermie Joy Joaquin, to the students of STE Newton, our beloved classmates. A pleasant afternoon to everyone.
It was just last week when Sigma was flooded due to the occurrence of continuous heavy rainfall not just in town but in the whole province of Capiz. Low elevation barangays in Sigma were covered with flood quickly. Because of the fast rising water, the power was immediately disrupted for the safety of people in a case when electric wires accidentally touched the water.
But fear not, we are going to be your superheroes for today. Here are the 10 steps on how to be prepared before and during the flood.
Here are the first steps to remember. The always essential when it comes to any disasters and the always priority of people. Number 1. Prepare an emergency kit. Emergencies happen, and the preparation and response can make a difference in the world due to their capability to protect you and your family. Having the items you need can be a lifesaver and is particularly necessary if you have to evacuate from your home during an emergency. Create an emergency kit, personalize it for your family's particular needs. The basic emergency kit contains a flashlight with extra batteries, first aid kits, different types of medicine, a radio, wind up or battery operated with extra batteries, local maps, a whistle can be used to signal for help, personal hygiene items including sanitizers and face masks, which is extremely crucial due to the ongoing threat of the virus. Check it every 6 months to be sure it is up to date.
Step number 2. Another common reminder that is very helpful and essential during an emergency. Prepare food and water supply that are good for at least 3 days for each person. During floods, help usually arrives late, and even calling for help is difficult. Therefore, it is necessary to prepare food and water supply that are good for the community survival for the duration of this disaster. The community should prepare 1 gallon of water for each person for at least 3 days and at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable food. These supplies must already be ready before the flood even starts to deepen. Floods are unpredictable and they may happen for a long duration of time. That's why it is better to prepare these things that could support human survival for this kind of disaster. People shouldn't always rely on the authorities for help. They must organize their personal needs because the help they need isn't always available the way they desire it.
Step number 3, familiarize yourself with the local emergency plan. Hazards vary depending on where you live. Identify the hazards near you so you can create your emergency plan. It is essential for it promotes safety, preparedness, and awareness. Emergencies affect us all differently, and help is not always available in the way we expect. Therefore, people need to learn what steps they could take to ensure that their needs are met at times that matter. People need to familiarize themselves with the local emergency plan for them to be able to know what they need to do, where they must go, and when they should evacuate. Furthermore, this step could identify various deficiencies in preparedness which could help resolve this problem before the actual flood happens.
Fourth step, monitor your surroundings and listen to weather reports. It is crucial to detect changes in times of flood for us to take quick necessary decisions. The main purpose of weather reports is to spread awareness to people and protect them from upcoming disasters, such as flood. Although consequences can be similar in different places, knowing the risk in your region can help you better prepare.
Here are the step number 5. Gather the contact numbers of the local authorities. Many unexpected natural disasters may happen, like the sudden deepening of a flood. The people in the community may not have time to think and make alternative plans during this risky situation. They may also be not aware of whom to listen for instructions. That's why it is crucial to know contacts of your local emergency hotlines since it may help you survive floods. Flash floods are extremely dangerous. Therefore, this would be better to know whom to call during different circumstances. It would be easier for people to seek help if they have all the contacts of their local authorities like MDRRMO and other rescue teams.
Here's the 6th step to remember. Use flood-resistant materials and techniques when building infrastructure. Flood events are a part of nature. They have existed and will continue to exist. So as far as feasible, the effect of natural processes on humans should be decreased and prevented. Appropriate instruments and measures should be developed for all these kinds of flood-related problems: rising groundwater tables, sewage network disruption, erosion, mass deposition, and many more. When planning to build a house, people must check the area for any vulnerabilities, especially in flooding. Using flood-resistant materials in building infrastructures would be better. They should consider elevating the entire structure too. It may not fully ensure the protection of the whole infrastructure, but however, it can lessen the damage the flood causes.
Seventh step, and a very important reminder to people: evacuate if instructed to do so. Floods are occurring in the place of Sigma frequently. Therefore, there is a need for the authorities to monitor the water levels in lakes and rivers, because these are the basis of the advisory contents that determines the risks people may face. This could serve as a wake-up call for people to stand by, be prepared, and keep in touch with them. Hence, if the disaster officials send their signal to evacuate, people must follow it immediately. At the same time, they should understand what they need to do and what they need to avoid doing. The evacuation process is extremely essential, primarily if the water levels have already reached a critical point. Since the municipality of Sigma is prone to floods, people must be more obedient and aware of the incidents in their surroundings. Communities must follow the instructions of local officials for proper evacuation. It will ensure the safety of people in the whole community. Also, this kind of cooperation will set a good example for other people. Always remember, it only takes one person to start for others to follow.
Eighth step is must to do during a flood. Turn off the water, gas, and electrical services before leaving to secure your home. During a flood, certain places are usually filled with a large volume of water. This is why switching off the water, gas, and electrical services are indispensable before evacuating. This could prevent damage to these equipments during disaster. Equipment like this Equipment like this may make our home living comfortable. However, unsecured services may result in hazardous situations. Gas leakage may result from minor to major medical emergencies. Damage to water pipe may also contribute to severe flooding. Malfunctioned outlets and electrical wire may cause an electric shock and can potentially cause fire once used. This procedure is often ignored by people. However, this could save one's life. Doesn't only ensure our safety, but it is also used to avoid further damage to property during flood.
We suggest paying attention to this next step raise awareness for everyone. Step number 9. Be especially cautious at night when it's harder to recognize floods. Since the municipality of Sigma is one of the flood-prone areas in Capiz, people must remain alert during times of heavy rains. Yet, light rains may also cause the sudden rising of water levels in rivers, which can happen only in a matter of hours, and may result in what we know as flash floods. Situations like this are dangerous for people living near rivers, dams, and those situated in low areas. Floods happening during the daytime are already threatening. What's more if it's happened at night? Floods may be difficult to see during the day. However, it is impossible to observe at night. It can appear at night, washing out whatever comes in path. Therefore, it is better to prepare than regret.
Last but not the least, this step can save you when you're unprepared and if the water is rising quickly in your area. Act quickly. Save yourself, not your belongings. According to the PHS reports, there's an average of 2,954 deaths per year caused by flood from 1980 to 2011. Most of these deaths occurred due to the lack of preparedness, lack of knowledge, and hard-headedness of people to evacuate even if they've already been warned about the possible surge of water. During floods, we should be vigilant of our surroundings for the possible occurrence of flash floods. If this happens quickly and you're unprepared, better leave your place and evacuate to a safe, high elevation area. When your life is already in threat, put yourself first before saving your own belongings. You can always replace objects once they are broken, but you can't replace your own life once you lose it. So learn to prioritize and protect yourself above all material things.
In conclusion, we do not possess the power of stopping these natural disasters to occur, but we can lessen its effect by helping each other clean and protect our environment.
The 10 steps that I mentioned earlier can serve as a guide to all the people on how we can lessen the casualties and how we can save our families and our own life in case of distress.
The flood that happened last week can serve as a wake up call to people. This is Rebecca.
This is Angel Legaspi.
This is Aeroll.
And this is Bless!
Group
Group
3
3
signing
off.